All right, friends, man, it's T, bro. We are back with the bomba clot himself, JasonBlaha, the strength and fitness dude, the lifting gym slave, bro. Yes, the recruiting lifting slave. What are Michelle's doing? Or if she quit yet? Anyway, we're gonna review this video by Blaha. JasonBlaha says stimulating muscles versus going through the motions. Stimulating, okay, going through the motions. All right.
Are you stimulating muscles or are you just going through the motions? Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here, and today I want to ask that question.
Are you stimulating muscles or going through the motions? Well, is Blaha just going through the motions or is he getting adaptations? He's getting zero adaptations. He's just going through the motions because he's adapted. Look, man, if you're adapted, you're going through the motions. But if you're looking for adaptations, that has nothing to do with being adapted to the exercises. See what I mean?
And when it comes to that, oftentimes you can't always tell from someone's form what's happening. Okay? You can't always...
He's going through the motions. He's getting zero adaptations. He's getting a zero. He is.
Tell.
Well, he's getting something. It's accelerated aging and possibly contributing to his chronic diseases that he has. He has some, I don't know, he has some autoimmune diseases, skin diseases and things. These are chronic diseases which are being contributed by this lifting that he does, frequent lifting. He's adapted. Yeah, going through the motions.
Oftentimes you can't, though. And the question really becomes, are you really just kind of moving weight or the muscles actually?
Here's the thing about people. People are going to convince you you're going to live longer if you do cardio or some bullshit, whatever. Cardio is going to shorten your lifespan. Cardio shortens your lifespan. That's what cardio does. All right? That's why I don't do this conventional thing called cardio, what everybody does, because it's incorporated already in my lifting. So I'm well aware of that. Yes. Cardio, I mean, I know people are going to say, well, it's associated with running. Cardio is associated with running. No, that's running. You could call it cardio. You're running. They say, well, but you're not running. You're getting cardio weightlifting. Yeah, I'm getting cardio weightlifting, but I'm not running. You understand the difference? You can't run down the street. You can run as much as you want down the street. Is running good for you? It's very stressful. It's very stressful. It's already stressful enough in the gym. You're just getting better at running. That's what it is. But you're going to say, well, I'm getting cardio out of it. Okay. You're getting better at running and getting cardio out of it. Okay, great.
Being stimulated. And that doesn't always mean strict form, because we need to be very, very clear there. There are plenty of exercises and movement patterns to where you can actually stimulate maximum muscle growth, reach the fast twitch muscle fibers, fatigue them, put mechanical tension on all those fibers with fairly loose form. Okay? Absolutely can happen. Absolutely.
Yes, you could fatigue them. That's what majority of people are doing in the gym. They're fatiguing them and getting an inflammatory response. Okay.
It can happen as long as those muscles are receiving enough of the workload to get that fatigue. And there are also many cases.
Does fatigue sound like adaptation or muscle damage or muscle growth? No, it's exactly what it sounds like. Fatigue. You're fatiguing yourself. Before you pass out, watch out.
Where you can see what someone is doing and you can tell that those muscles are not being worked. And I'll give you guys a couple of examples that I'll talk about here. You see me bench pressing. I don't know if I have any curls in this video, but I've seen this with clients in curls and I've seen this with clients with bench pressing, right? On curls, usually if the people are completely losing tension on the bicep at the top or the bottom. Now, does that mean cheat reps? No, because cheat curls, absolutely, done correctly, cheat curls can create a tremendous, absolutely tremendous stimulus in the bicep that has been measured in the lab. Right? There have been EMG studies that found on cheat curls that use some body swing that the bicep activation can be pretty much top the machine out. Okay? So we know that works. And there have been plenty of pro bodybuilders who built massive biceps 50 years ago even doing cheat curls. So
they built these bodybuilders, these fake bodybuilders built massive biceps doing cheat curls. They could have done anything and they would have got pumped up with glycogen. Glycogen proteins are not contractile.
Not that it's cheating that's the problem.
Again, there's more than one type, but there's two major types of hypertrophy, sarcoplasmic and myofibrillar. A lot of people misconstrued this sarcoplasmic hypertrophy for myofibrillar. Myofibrillar is extremely hard to build because it's based on an adaptation system, and it's highly regulated by myostatin, follistatin, and the satellite cell. But sarcoplasmic is not controlled by follistatin, myostatin, or the satellite cell. Neither are fat cells. They're uncontrollable. They can exponentially grow like crazy and rapidly and fast.
Start looking at it going, but what are they doing? I had a client, for example, he decided he was going to do dumbbell curls. He was a noob, he was a kid, he did not have much lifting experience. And I hadn't even put the dumbbell curl in the program. He's like, well, I did some dumbbell curls.
Okay, so he did dumbbell curls. What's the difference between doing dumbbells and barbell curls? There's no difference. There's that. Well, you could switch hands and say, oh well, one is resting while the other one is working. Okay. And so what? There's no difference. It's a free weight. It's just a different variation, but you're going to get the same outcome when it comes to free weights. It's mostly concentric as opposed to eccentric. That's the problem with it. There's more eccentric when it comes to cable machines because it's pulling you down. But a lot of people, they never go heavy enough on the cables to get enough adaptations out of it. I don't know, either they're scared or they're lazy or something. They lift lazy, I'm not really sure, bro. But those cable machines can only go so high at some point. So, yeah, I'm not saying you can't get adaptations. With free weights, you can, eccentric movements. But you need to be cautious. You don't want to get injured either. The whole point is to get stronger on them, the eccentrics. You repair and model your muscles stronger so they're resilient from getting injured. That's the whole point. But you want to get micro injuries so that they could grow back bigger and stronger for sure.
I have one adjustable dumbbell at home because he was training at home for a bit and had a rack and a bar and everything. So you can do squat, bench, deadlifts, rows, all that. Right? Shows me this dumbbell curl. He goes into a hammer position with it. He starts at the bottom with his elbow already bent at least 30 degrees. So he's already not lengthening the bicep. And he did a cheat curl with it. And then locked it all the way at the top so far that the weight ended up all the way above his shoulder, right? And his wrist bent backwards. So you look at that and go, okay, so there's no tension anywhere at all at the top. In fact, anytime someone curls, if their forearms get all the way up to 90 degrees on the curl, if they do not have the wrist bent back, they have completely unloaded the bicep at the top. And I'm not saying you have to have continual tension, but when the last 10 degrees of your movement at the top has zero bicep loaded on it, none, like mechanically there is no work at all being put on the bicep. Not only is it not working, it's not even being loaded. There's zero tension on it. It's all being done by the forearm at that point, being held by the wrist and everything. Okay? And then you skip the bottom, which is the lengthened position, and we've got really good data on lengthened position exercises. I mean, some of the best experts, and I'm not saying I fully agree with this, are suggesting that the bottom half of an exercise, as long as it goes into a lengthened position, can stimulate 100% of possible muscle growth. There are experts who believe that. I'm talking people with PhDs in the field who feel like that could literally be 90 up to as much as 100% of your possible growth occurs purely at the bottom half.
Well, he says that's where the muscle is growing purely at the bottom half. That's where it's growing. No, that's where the damage is happening, at the bottom half, the eccentric exercise. That's why it's superior.
In the lengthened position partials, which means to say that there's good data on the stretch position stimulating growth is pretty dang good.
Okay, there's good data on it stimulating. It doesn't stimulate growth. It damages muscles, and then the progenitor wakes up and causes growth. Okay, look, man, this guy's a poor coach, bro. If you type just PubMed, if you just type like PubMed eccentric contractions, muscle damage superior, okay, just type that, whatever you want to type. You'll see a wide array, a list here. Eccentric muscle contractions, risks and benefits. It tells you there. It even says right underneath it, However, unaccustomed eccentric exercise is known to cause muscle damage and delayed pain, commonly defined as delayed onset muscle soreness. You move on to the next one, chronic adaptations to eccentric training, systematic review. The inclusion of eccentric loads not constrained by concentric strength appears to be superior to traditional resistance training. There you go, it's superior. There's all kinds of reasons why. Mechanisms of eccentric contraction to induce muscle damage and nutrition. It's always eccentric, the downforce is always associated with muscle damage. You understand me? Not muscle growth, muscle damage. But if you don't eat, if you damage muscles and you don't eat accordingly, if protein synthesis doesn't exceed that breakdown, then you will lose muscle and you'll shrink. They'll die. They'll die. Those fibers will die. So mechanisms of eccentric contraction induce muscle damage and nutrition. Eccentric contractions often result in large, long-lasting force deficits accompanied by muscle soreness, primarily due to muscle damage. And then application eccentric exercise, improve muscle mobility function in. Again, eccentric but not concentric contractions are associated with what? A transient damage response and repair, of which appears to be what? Function of ... You can read it for yourself, and it goes on forever. Partial protection against muscle damage by eccentric contractions at short muscle lengths. The study investigates the hypothesis maximum eccentric actions as a short muscle length would fail to confirm a protective effect, yada, yada, yada. There's no protective effect, okay? Like eccentric exercise and heavy eccentric muscle loading, effects of eccentric versus concentric restraining on muscle strength, yada, yada, yada. The aim is systematic to determine eccentric exercise is superior to concentric exercise in stimulating gains in muscle strength. You see that? Effects of lengthening velocity during eccentric training. And it could go on and on. They talk about runners, this, that. Look, stiffness appears, increased muscle force production, providing mechanisms to explain fundamental velocity during whatever eccentric. Early studies found eccentric loading, high lengthening velocity, severe muscle damage accompanied, causes severe muscle damage. Goes on forever. More eccentric damage, skeletal muscle eccentric exercise. Evidence mechanical steps providing loading muscle damage, eccentric contractions. Man, I could go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. When it comes to eccentric, it's never ending, bro. It's go forever. Forever, dude, ski. So superior effects of eccentric, whatever, techniques, whatever, fucking whatever, blah, 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 effective improving insulin sensitivity, yada, yada, yada. It just goes on forever, bro. It just will go on forever, man. It will never end here. So, yeah. Risks and benefits. You can look this up yourself. What would they say here at the bottom? Eccentric training at that depth should be provide valuable information, design therapeutic, whatever. I don't know. When some they tell you delayed onset muscle soreness. Well, I'm not going to get into this, okay? It tells you that it's resistant from further assaults, yada, yada, yada. So a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know if it's this one. I can't remember. I don't know. It's not this one. It tells you the inclusion. This one right here, systematic, right there at the bottom, tells you right there. The inclusion of eccentric loads not constrained by concentric strength appears to be superior to traditional resistance training to improving variables associated with strength, power, and speed performance. So you people that are looking for speed performance, you people that are looking for strength and power, that's what you're looking for. Eccentric training is a potent stimulus. It enhances muscle mechanical function and muscle tendon unit. Architectural, morphological and architectural adaptations. The inclusion of eccentric loads not constrained by whatever. You get the point, okay? So I don't need to go into this. This goes on forever. So what Blaha says is just a bunch of baloney, bro. He's a poor coach, okay? The information is there. The science and the information is there. It's been there forever. Ever and ever.
We need to be trying to reach it. So on that curl, that person was completely not getting this
They never talk about concentric. They always talk about eccentric.
stretch position at the bottom, not going into it all, and then anywhere near the contracted position, they have managed to unload the bicep again, and they use a little bit of leg drive to get it into that position. You're getting no bicep activate. Really, that might as well just not even curl at that point.
What do they mean by strength when it comes to eccentric exercise? It's associated with strength, power, speed, and performance. Why is that? And the majority of your muscle comes from eccentric contractions. It doesn't come from concentric. To get massively big and strong, I'm not talking about strong and lift that. I'm not talking about staying small and lifting a heavy weight. I'm talking about getting big and strong, a big strong guy, not a small strong guy. I'm talking about getting to be a big strong guy. Is associated with strength, power, speed, and performance. Why is that? Why is that? Because eccentric exercises cause muscle damage. That's the stimulus to growth. Okay, man, it's called an adaptation, dude. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, I'm sorry to break people's bubble out there, the people in Blaha La La Land out there, okay? That's associated with it. That's why I laugh when I watch people in the gym working out. They're not getting anywhere. They're there with the free weights. There's a lot of eccentric, not enough concentric. Too much concentric, not enough eccentric. So they're getting a 0, bro, and they're adapted and whatever else.
Okay, that's an example. All right, how about bench pressing? I'll give you another example. People who bounce the bar off.
He can bench press forever these weights. He can do these weights forever. His body is never changing. Look, you could lose weight, diet, starve yourself, lose a bunch of fat. Again, his muscle is never changing. I'm conditioning myself right now. So I'm moving I'm changing the body, the ratio, fat to muscle ratio is changing. But the weight on the scale stays the same, 250 pounds.
Chest on the bench.
That fucking scale ain't fucking moving, man. You understand me when I condition myself? God damn it ain't moving. It's staying at 250. But guess what? Muscles going up, body fat is going to go down. It's going to take me a lot longer. But guess what? At least I didn't starve myself to get there and lose my muscle. Why the fuck would I do that for? What a waste of time. I'm not a competitor. I'm not a bodybuilder. I do bodybuilding, but I'm not a bodybuilder. And I'm not a competitor, bodybuilder, whatever you call those fucking fake people, okay? That are out there. I'm a normal person out in public.
Am I saying it's possible that you'll never ever build any pec that way, or that some people can't build pecs that way?
Again, I'm not against people taking steroids or these bodybuilders or what they're doing, these fake people, bro. They have the right to do whatever the fuck they want, but that's not what I do on my channel. I'm not a fake bodybuilder. I don't do that. Just because the under title says enhanced genetics, you're so what? Enhanced genetics, yeah. Bodybuilding, real bodybuilding enhances your genetics. That's what it does. I'm not talking about taking a drug to enhance your genetics temporarily. I'm talking about permanently. But it's great for the algorithm. That's why I have it there saying enhanced genetics. Because one he's like, hey, God, it says they're enhanced genetics. So what? What does that have to do with anything?
Wait, no, a lot of people can't. But we come back over to where's the most mechanical tension being placed on the pectoral on the bench? At the bottom, right?
But it's all mechanical tension. What are you talking about? You're lifting a weight. It's called mechanical tension.
The bottom, when you touch the chest, mechanically speaking,
that's the eccentric exercise, the movement. That's associated with muscle damage, not the up motion.
Is when the most load is being placed on the muscle fibers of the pec. It is at the most disadvantaged position. It's stretched. The pec has to work the hardest at the bottom.
It does have to work the hardest at the bottom. Otherwise, you're gone. You're a goner.
Not even debatable. Basic biomechanics, basic physics. You should be able to look at that and tell that's what's happening at the muscular level. So what happens if you bounce the weight off your chest? Are you de-emphasizing the work that the pecs do? By a tremendous amount. You're letting the pec skip the hardest part for the pec muscle to contract, where it has to do the most work, where you have the most potential for muscle fibers in the chest to be stimulated and loaded. You're just skipping
Yeah, to get damaged, Blaha, to get damaged, stimulated. Yeah.
it completely. And then bouncing to get inertia through it. All right.
But they're not going to get damaged with a repeated bout of the same stuff that you've been doing.
How many guys who bench that way, particularly if they use a
And they're protected, too, from any more damage.
somewhat closed grip, then tell you that the bench press doesn't grow their chest lags, they don't feel the bench in their pecs, that it's all shoulders or all triceps. Pretty large percentage of them. Because again, they're just going through the motions. They're not actually stimulating their chest, effectively. It doesn't mean...
You know the funny part? The majority of people, if they were to go off their carbohydrate diet, complete knock off all carbs, I mean totally all gone, man, they would shrink, get so small, and their pumps would be gone, and they would notice nothing's going on in the gym anymore. Yeah, man. People turned around in the gym and were accusing me of, they were like saying, oh, he's carb loading now. He's carb loading. I'm not carb loading now. I don't even look carbed up. I'm real muscle. I'm 250 pounds of real muscle. I'm not fake muscles. I'm not carbing nothing. I'm trying to lose body fat. I'm conditioning myself. That's totally different.
No stimulus, no. It's some guys who, if they've got good chest genetics or they're doing other chest exercises with it, can still end up with a pretty big chest. But that bench press isn't doing a whole lot for them. That sort of training is what gives the bench press the myth that a lot of people can't build their chest doing it. See how I'm benching there? Bench like that and tell me you don't feel your chest cramp up. You don't get a pump in your chest. Right? Pausing on the chest, wide grip. Keeping the arch pretty minimal, no cheating. Pecs are having to drive it off the chest. From a stretched position, all right, your chest is working. That's what I mean as an example. That's what I mean as an example. All right? Are the muscles you're trying to work working? And it doesn't mean they always have to be the primary mover. Some exercises work multiple muscles. Right, like the laterals I'm doing here. Works the entire delt, all three heads, works the upper traps.
Yeah, it's working them. It's kind of obvious.
Okay. But the angles that you move that dumbbell through absolutely affect where that emphasis is. The way I'm doing them is a lot more side delt. If I wanted to hit more front delt or more rear delt, I would adjust the way I'm doing them. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Yeah, super dupery doo informative. Yeah. I don't know, man. Was it informative? I mean, it wasn't totally off. I mean, the whole thing about the stimulus, on the bottom part, the mechanical tension at the end, yeah, it's eccentric. I don't know why he doesn't say eccentric, why he doesn't refer to it as muscle damage. That's the driver of it. It's superior concentric exercises, because the load, remember, you're on the bottom part, it has to take the load. It's taking the load. That's where it's coming. It's taking a load. That's where the strength comes from. It comes from the eccentric load, which will give you more, which will recruit more of these motor units at some point, and helping you on the concentric movement. I know, but people are going to say, well, there's the deadlift. People are lifting. It's mostly concentric and not eccentric because they're dropping it. In a way, yes and no, because they're lifting. It's there's a lot of stress going on there. The weight's really heavy too. There is a bit of a down motion when they're about to drop it. They are kind of arching, moving down, and then they drop. There's a bit there, but it's minimal. But again, there's a lot of stuff being recruited when it comes to motor units. That's force production. That has nothing to do with eccentric contractions and muscle building when it comes to a deadlift that people are dropping on the floor. Unless, of course, they're doing reps with it up and down. They're actually getting the concentric with it. If you're going to do a deadlift, you should do the eccentric movements with the deadlift and not just drop the weight, so you can get the benefits of the eccentric movement. It'll make you more stronger. It'll make you physically stronger. So you won't be a small, strong guy. You'll be a big, strong guy. Get it? Anyways, man, I'll see you in the next one. Touch, think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Yeah, that's why nobody can beat, what's his name? Sangashvili, the arm wrestler. Levan Sangashvili, because he's a big, strong guy. That's why he beats these small, strong guys. Get it? In arm wrestling. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.